I'm not sure if you can see this very clearly. It's another one of the River Wandle. I've painted it a couple of times in watercolour, but I enlarged this and I can see now that that's not a roof there. The white bit there is a flat roof, the fascia of it, and in front of it there's some great big red containers. So I'll put something else in there, and also I can see through there there's a building, large building there, but I'm not going to put that in. Take that out and you would think you're in the countryside somewhere, but I can assure you this is in the middle of suburbia, this lovely river that was ecologically dead in the 1950s, but it's been brought back to life by huge sums of money, huge efforts by the Environment Agency, the Wandle Trust, and the least I can do is to try to paint it. This is on my doorstep. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I'll put this up here, with friends we cycle this, and my son, and perhaps on some Saturdays, and grandson. We love this little river. Right, I'll just get that back. So I'm going to do just a copy of it. I'll just move you back and see if I can get the camera in a better position where I can see it by turning around as well, so I can see what you're looking at. Right, let's put that there. Okay, right, that seems to be okay. Right, the usual palette of light reds, not light red, vermilion. I'll just clean off the old palette and put some more out. It's getting a bit dirty now, this palette, but well, it's done very well. It's a good advert for Masterson Stay Wet palettes. You can use them for watercolour, for oil painting. It keeps your paints nice and moist when you're not using them, and it allows moisture to soak up through the membrane. Oops, through the membrane, and keep the colours moist. But now it's getting a bit waterproof with all the plastic drying, because that's what acrylic is, plastic. Right, so I'll put out some of this lovely vermilion, because I like that mixed with my greens. I'm trying to keep away from the ready mixed greens. I've got quite a bit of blue sky in this. It's a plain sky. I don't want the sky to compete with the actual landscape. I'm going to stick to my black. I'll get some more of this pretty soon because I'm getting a bit low, it's stuck. Otherwise, it seals itself, and the PVA in the pigment turns, when it dries, turns it into plastic, a hard plastic. It's a great material. It does, unless you bulk it out, you can't really paint thickly with it. Well, you probably can if you mix it with texture paste or use artist quality, but I don't use artist quality. Right, okay, so we've got vermilion, ultramarine, bit of burnt sienna, black, possibly burnt umber if I feel like it, lemon yellow, and the medium yellow. The medium yellow I'm really enjoying, and I've lost. Oh, there it is. I'll squeeze some more of that. Look, Reeves, could be any cadmium yellow, medium. Right, now I'm going to put in the basic shapes of all the foliage. There's lots of ivy. It's a winter scene, so there's going to be a lot of tracery. But I might. Well, I don't know how far I'll get with that in one go, but I might finish it tomorrow. But anyway, what else can I say? Oh yes, I was asked why I'm painting the sky after I've done the landscape, or put the landscape in. I found, and I'm not the only one, the Impressionists used it, and there's a marvellous Irish painter whose name escapes me. One of his paintings came up in the Antiques Roadshow several years ago, and they gave it an estimate of about 40,000. I think in the event it was sold for 145,000. A lot of money, and it was a very simple painting. Big clouds and just wodges of dark green for just a just on the skyline and a bit of meadow. Very simply painted, and I'm sure the paint was painted, or the sky was painted afterwards. It just seems to have a greater impact. I used for many years to paint the sky first and superimpose over it, but I've sort of changed my mind now. Now we're going to put in a bit of water in here, but all this great wodge of winter greens, mostly ivy, a bit of lighter green in here, we're going further around into the light. So I'll mix with some blue, some bit of yellow and a lot of red. But I want to keep it on the red side. So we'll come up here, just put it in. I'm not going to do a slavish copy, this is going to be reflection in here. Let's say use a bit of a bit of this, bit of that. I shouldn't have put the yellow in really, I wanted a nice little reddy black. So let's just get that in. There's the reflections coming down here. And that's coming down to there. Get the red back. Constable used burnt umber for this. Just covering the paper. And you can do this quite easily with acrylic because it dries so quick. Use a bit of warmer colour over here where we can pick up some light, and you've got a tree coming down there. It's winter finery and a bit of right, the bank comes round here and that goes down there. That comes around there. And we've got some ochre here, like a sort of a bank, a bit of white in there. I'll just put that in, it's going to be much lighter than that. And I just want to put the shadow, that you can see that from the photograph coming all the way. It's like a little, not a hill, but just a bit of high ground, a bit of grass. Now, as I said, I'm going to change, I'm not going to put a building in there, I'm going to put a bit of distance. You can't really see distance on this in real life because it's all houses. But a bit of blue, a bit of crimson, or a bit of the vermilion, I think, a bit of white. Right, just put that in. Just, this brush is just about in there. But it does other things. Bring that round. Right. Get this in here. There's some trees that goes up there, off of there, and this lot is a bush that sort of comes down from the bank coming round. The river goes round there, comes round here and round there. So let's just right, okay. And I'll put all this stuff in here afterwards, but just to remind me of what's there. This is just tracery in the winter trees, but I'm going to cover that up. And I need a bit of a bluey green on that thing. all the shadow and reflections coming down there. That there is reflecting that there. Okay, right, let's get that dark in there. Right, the rest of we can put water, the reflection, the actual sky reflected in the water in here, but that needs to close up a little bit. There's a bit of a dark greeny bush that's actually on that far bank, so I've got to remember that. I'll just carry that light ochre through there, but that's really white, well, light tone, so that comes around here, comes up there, okay, let's put in the reflection of that. Probably a better colour for this is burnt umber, but with a bit of white mixed in with it. Right, let's just get that shape down there, that sweep around there. Right, okay, so that's the basic shape of it. Right, we'll go in with a bit of, I can see some green. Let's start with these greens. Bit of red, bit of yellow, and a bit of black, a lot of yellow. There's a sort of a light, well, that doesn't show, does it? I'll put highlights on all this. This is sort of on the bank. Bit of stuff here. I'll use a better brush than this when I go back over it, but all the lost and found. And got some grass on the bank here, and then loads of ivy, nice dark green for the ivy, bit of red in it. Right, look for the yellows. Come in there. Don't want to cover all this dark red up because it is essentially a dark painting with a lot of light coming through. There's a shadow coming down here. This is my new method, painting in painting the detail in dark to start with, and just then looking for the light, bit of white in there, just. And also this builds up an impasto or surface under the painting, which allows you to, as it dries, you can drag over it a bit. I'll just re-clip that. It's expanding with the wetness. Just always exciting starting a new painting. So we've got a nice lot of lighter greens on the other side, so warmer greens. I'll just put in some of this in there, and then some darker colours in the depth of it, in the shadows. And we've got some ivy going up this tree here. Right, okay, that is about it. I'm going to put some sky in there now. I'll change my brush, I think, because look, it's really worn out, look. But it does other things. Right, so it's going to be a blue sky. So we'll put in some nice. Oh, I've gone over the reflection there a bit. It's all lost and found. You keep going over what you've done and try to keep it all soft. I'm a great one for softness. If you see light, paint light. If you see dark, paint dark. See, that comes down there, and another bit there. Just picking up the bits of light between there. And I can put ripples in later. That's not a good show. I'll come too far over there. But I'm discovering bits about acrylic. I know a lot of my paintings are all the same sort of views, but then I've got to find my views where I can. The holiday or make them up. But I primarily paint what I want to paint. And I do apologise if that. Some of you think they are a bit samey, but to my way of thinking, that everyone is different. Oh, just soften that up a bit there. So I'll put in that reflection there. I'm going to paint that more lighter bluey green there. It's just too dark. So, bit that okay, let's just bring that down here. Soft. Right, okay. And a bit of darker blue on there as well, I think. Just right, sky. I'll put in a touch of ochre on the, and a little bit touch of red. A bit dark. Ooh, sullied my brush in the yellow. I try and keep the paint fairly thick. But I don't want to totally obliterate what I put on. They're supposed to be blue, but it's gone grey, hasn't it? So more blue. But I always think that when I start, that whatever I put on, I'm going to cover, I'm going to change. I'll work my way into the painting. And as you come down, the blue gets a bit lighter, but I'm not going to have it a flat blue because that is just boring. Just put a few bits of different colours and different intensities just to make it different rather than just a monotonous. But as I said earlier, we're not going to over elaborate the sky. We don't want that to compete with the landscape. It's the winter trees that I like, and that oak tree that comes up here. That's some fun painting that. Right, let's get down into here. See, I've obliterated, but I can go back. But as I build up the surface, I can drag, and some of that is going to show in there. And they're still too dark, really. There's not a luminous quality to it yet. Yellow is quite good in it, and certainly a bit of red. It gives it a bit of warmth, but and a bit of colour. So, and light as you get to the horizon. Oh, I'm putting a bit of perspective into the sky now. The paint's dry underneath, or wet underneath. When you paint over it, it will drag it, so you need to remember that. Okay, now we'll go back into the blue. Leave some more white on the palette. Alright, not to be stuck on top of the blue, otherwise it's going to get into everything. I just need to add the blue, so I just wipe my white area down with a bit of tissue. Right, now get my white. If you've got big lids like that and you paint, put the paints down lid first. It keeps all the paint at one end, the end you want to squeeze. Just doing that. Okay. Right, so that blue back on in the sky, nice pure blue. Darker blue on the top, coming down into the landscape. So look, it's more intense blue overhead. No cloud really, just this misty effects here. I need to get that creamy, reddy colour back. Got that nice. Oh, there's a bit more red in there. that's quite nice, isn't it? Right, let's go back with those greens now. I'm going to put that background in. So, bit of blue, bit of red, not a lot of blue, and see what that like. A bit better. Not sure I quite like that. Right, so that gives a bit of perspective, aerial perspective to that just a bit of dark in there, just so it makes the grass below it look a bit lighter. Right. Now we'll go back with some greens now. It's dry over here, so we'll start over there. That's this is all hot ivy. And another wodge of ivy next to it. Dark. Right, that's still got to be filled in there. It's just a bit too high there. That's probably a bit higher as well. I'm going to paint that out. I'll just wait for it to dry. But I want to get that silhouetted edge here. So I want a little bit more above it. Okay, so far so good, but I want that to dry so I can just change that shape there. It's too high. Not that it really matters, but it just makes it difficult for me later on when I'm putting all the trees in. Right, now we're going to sort these greens out. So light greens or lighter greens, because this is all in shadow, but we'll make it warm sort of green with a bit of red. Bit of yellow ochre, bit of red, with that green. And now some darker greens in there. Back to the black, and the red, and the yellow. It's all lost and found. Building up a surface underneath over which to drag lighter paint or darker paint. Gives it something to bite onto, because I haven't primed any of this. I just want to get that shadow there. A bit right, that's sort of, that's the one I want to catch, and that light should be there really, so move that over. reflection in there. Same as what's above, just put below what you've put above. And you won't go far wrong. Remember, we can't see much of this on the photograph. See, that's the bank coming further around there, actually, coming further down. So let's put that in. Better. Put that light ochre colour back in there. Oops. And I've mixed a bit of burnt umber with that, I think, which I have on the palette. So we'll just darken that a little bit for shadow. Okay. Now put the light reflection back in here. Just a bit of red in there, I think, with that ochre. Warm it up a little bit. Soften it. Right, go on to the left hand side. I'm still waiting for that to really go nice and dry. So, ochre. A bit darker colour, so there's a bit of burnt umber in there. It's all going to dry. Burnt umber is the fastest drying colour on the palette. With black quite a way behind it. And this is just. So I like that burnt umber. It mixes very well with a touch of black as well. Burnt umber. Burnt umber. Oh no, burnt sienna. Right, good news. I'm just going to move that up a little bit to there. Burnt umber, it's gone, burnt umber. We've got Van Dyke brown, burnt umber. Burnt sienna. Burnt sienna, we've got burnt umber. There we are. That's chroma acrylic. So let's be chroma colour. Oh, chrome made in the USA, chrome Australia, chrome USA. Anyway, great stuff. So put a bit of the burnt sienna, burnt umber I mean. There's no big green in there, but we've got quite a bit of a shape on this tree here. So when I put in my branches, the fine ones going up, that will be behind them. Very light touch on this. Bit more dark in here. Right, I'll let that go for a minute. put a bit of green in there, I think. Just a bit. Let's put that ivy back in there. Right, the screen's gone. Right, I'm going to go back over that now, there, just to thicken that up a little bit. Oh, picked up too much red on that. Quite pretty colour, isn't it? That's too high there. Nearly there. This was far too high, so I'm just trying to paint it out. It's taken a while. I'll just put in some light behind here. Okay. Right, now I'm going to change the light on that water a little bit. Just using a touch of lemon yellow with a touch of red. There will be just a little bit of dark on there, showing the distant landscape, as I can see. Right, okay, so that is okay. We've got to put some work into this now. This is quite solid, but then it's got a lot of colour in it because it's catching the light. So we'll put the colour in. And then we can put some warmth back in there, I think. It's what I didn't really make the most of yesterday. I was too green and I didn't allow for a moderation of the sort of colours. They're all the same, but it was a different sort of painting. Just catching the light here and there. Now, nice green, just showing through in here. Catching a little bit of light around the edges. Okay, see what I mean by the impact, by painting down to it, it's all soft, but it looks like it's been painted afterwards, but for some reason it seems to work. So we'll just put in this ivy back here. And I'll put in a bit of that sky back in, break that all up there. Oh, I need some colour in there. Quite delicate this, isn't it? All little touches. But some I can rush and some I can't. I need some of the blue really in there. I've gone up too high with that cloud, I think. Let's just go in with some big blue. Okay, now, nice greens again, red, black. Got to seek these lights where you can find them. Let's come down to that bank here. Some you have to invent, like I am. So I'll just drag that down there just to show as a reflection. Right, I'll put some lighter yellows around where the breaks are in the foliage. Just around the edge, just to brighten it up a little bit. I am vamping a lot of this. By the seat of my pants. Right. Just inventing all this light here. Just putting some lights in. I can't see them in the photograph, so I was sort of green here, different green, reds in the greens, just a bit of warmth to bring the foreground nearer to us by creating the illusion of this being nearer. because it's a warmer colour. There's green in there. So there's light coming into the painting now that's going to be there. If I could photograph it again, maybe I could do a different time of day, but put that up there. And I can put some twigs and branches and stuff in there. Let's just soften it all over now, just drag over it. Alright, soften all that reflection. Right, a bit more detailing in these bits here. Don't want to come up too high though, otherwise it'll end up through the roof. Now that's got to come over a bit to reflect that. Right, I need some more reflection. I've gone too far over with some of that sky there, so I'll just now that should be under there. There should be a bit of light coming through there. Okay. Alright, I need to get some more green in there just to balance that side there a little bit, I think. Just indistinct here. Okay. Right, now let's do a bit of oak tree going in. Alright, so it's all in silhouette. So use some black and I can moderate. So we'll have this coming out here, quite heavy. It's an oak tree, so we're going to have branches going everywhere. I might have to do it with a rigger, I'm not sure, but no, I think a rigger might be, or another brush anyway. Let's try that brush. Alright, let's might bigger. It's going to take a long time. I might do a bit more of this to show you, and then come to a halt and come back later tomorrow or later today. I've got some eucalyptus to trim. A friend bought us the eucalyptus tree years ago, but the whole eucalyptus, it grows and grows and grows very fast. And in a suburban garden, if you're not careful, it gets so big you have to pay somebody to come in and take it away. Well, friends in our road have got a florist shop, and they're very grateful for any amount of eucalyptus leaves, twigs, branches, because they have to pay quite a bit for it. So we just take it down. So I'm going to proceed in this fashion for some time. So it's what I'll do, I'll have a break now. We call this part 2. I will come back later when I've done my chores, but I will work on this to bring it a bit more finished. That has got to have more ivy put in it, and I've got a bit more dark, or that's just a bit too, put some more colour in it, it's just a bit too stark. But what we've got is a lot of this. Got a lot of this. But you have to have your paint very wet. A lot of this, loads of it, all this coming up here. Oops, a bit carried away. So there's lots of this to do. We've got loads of twigs and got a lovely family next door to us, three boys. Lovely very polite, friendly, talk over the fence. And they got a 5-year-old. Well, when he came to us, he was 2. When he came next door, he was just a delightful little child. He would totally engage you. You'd ask him a question, and he'd faultingly give you an answer, and he'd ramble on, and you're just mesmerised by this little kid. So we don't mind all the noise they make. We love it. Right, end of part 2. I'll sign off for a little while, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.